This is ChatGPT's new $200 per month operator model, and this is a best-selling digital product on Etsy. And today I'm gonna see if I can get AI to build similar products for me completely from scratch with as little interaction as possible. I've seen other people online using this new operator model to build entire businesses from scratch, and it kind of works. AI is already writing books, making music, and coding entire websites. So today we're gonna see if it can build products and an entire business on its own that can actually make money. The first product I'm gonna try making with my new pal operator is the pinnacle of passive income, and that's a digital product, which is just something that you make digitally and also sell digitally. The premise is really simple. You give operator some instructions, like start a digital clip art business on Etsy. It then takes control of this little web browser where you can watch it do all its magic. It can navigate to websites, explore it by scrolling, use tools on the website, and interact with everything, learning how to make revisions along the way, all based on your original prompt, just like a human would. I've seen a lot of these little clip art style images on Etsy, and although they only sell for a few dollars each, when they do sell, the customer just gets emailed the digital file, and the seller keeps the profit from the sale. It's really simple, it scales like crazy, anyone can do it, and you have about a 90% profit margin after Etsy fees and everything. The shops that have posted a lot of these clip art style images make thousands of sales, and since the actual clip art isn't anything too crazy or special, I wanna see if the operator AI can use another AI to make it completely on its own. Products like this can normally take a while to make, but my theory is that if we can make them on autopilot using operator, even though they only sell for a few bucks each, over time with a lot of listings selling, it could compound into thousands of dollars. I really don't know exactly what I'm doing here, but I'm gonna say I wanna start a digital product business on Etsy that sells clip art graphics. You can use Midjourney AI to generate the clip art images. You can use Canva to remove the background and prepare the graphics into nice looking listing images before you create the product in my Etsy shop. Let's go. Now, operator basically takes over and tries to do as much as it can without needing any help. And I think I will need to speed some things up here because it's a little slow. But this is pretty cool because once it found Midjourney, it started to analyze the page to see what tools it had available. It looked around and found the image generation input field and the create tab where all the images are made, and then it even figured out how to save them. It tells me it's ready to move on, but I decided to have it generate some cat themed clip art to try and sell in the shop. Now it made some, it was super generic, so I told it to retry with a better prompt, and it actually does. Now personally, I don't know if this would ever sell because who would buy this, but let's see how far we can go with it. I told it to download the image, and it actually did, but this is also where we ran into the first major issue. Once it saved the file, it frantically clicked around trying to open it somehow, but it couldn't figure out where it saved the image. As a side note, I think this is because OpenAI, the company who owns Operator, doesn't want you to use Operator to download tons of files and overwhelm their server. But eventually it did get the file open. So now if it can build out one listing, I think we're gonna be good to go. I told it to build out a listing and it found its way to Etsy, and then it navigated to my test shop where it found the create a listing button, and it started filling in all of the listing details, and it even titled the product, uploaded the image, added a product description, and then when it found out that the file name wasn't compatible with Etsy for a digital download, it used a renaming tool to upload the file, change the name, and re-download it. Now, granted, this process has taken a while, but considering it was all automated and it was able to create a listing, I'm impressed. I'm mostly impressed that it was able to troubleshoot so much and go from an idea into an actual sellable product. And although I don't know who's buying this, I think it's enough proof that I think we might be able to actually build out products that could sell using Operator. And considering I hardly had to do anything to get this product listed for sale, I'd say that product number one was a success. My theory that Operator could technically build out some products and get them listed for sale seems to be true, but I think we need to do a product that it would be a little bit better at making. Maybe if I give it better directions in the prompt, it'll be able to create some better products for me. I saw this recipe, which is somehow sold 7 times in the last day, and obviously wondered who's buying this. But then I saw it's because it's the best recipe. But when I looked closer at the image, I noticed some weird things. So when I check the image, you can see it's definitely AI generated. I then looked into the shop selling this product, and they've made over 20,000 sales. So if we automated and posted hundreds of recipes too, I bet we could eventually make a few hundred or maybe even $1,000 a day. If this listing can sell well, I'm sure Operator could make something at least comparable. I think this could be a good niche because if Operator can make one recipe, it can make a lot more. And there's a lot of different angles we could go, like diet and weight loss, or just general recipes. I'm gonna tell Operator to come up with a unique, delicious food item recipe with clear steps and cooking instructions, type the instructions out in a Canva document, and then come up with a descriptive AI prompt to make the image. This time, when Operator took over, it opened up Canva, created the document, and started typing in the recipe right away. It came up with this idea for a lemon herb chicken skewer with garlic yogurt dip. Sounds all right. And then it added in the ingredients list, instructions, and put it all into a document, literally without me having to do anything. Then with the recipe made, it switches over to Midjourney and wrote a detailed prompt based on the recipe. And I think it came out great. I mean, I would personally eat this. Now, I simply told Operator to create another recipe for me. This time it came up with spicy mango shrimp tacos with avocado lime crema. And this time it did the exact same thing, even faster, creating the recipe in a document and then making the image to go along with it. And then finally, I asked it to do a dessert recipe. And this time it got stuck switching between tabs for a minute, but eventually it got the same exact end result. I had it turn all these recipes into product listings, and looking at them on Etsy, I honestly feel like they look really good. Again, I'm basing this on how well the other AI generated recipes sell. I think these have a shot because in my opinion, I don't think they look too bad. As another test, I saw this pack of real estate templates. It's selling pretty well, making around $280 a day, which is solid for something that just sells passively. So if Operator can come up with something similar, we'd be chilling. Just from these past couple tests, I think the more detailed the prompt is, the better the result we'll get. So this is the prompt I'm using. Let's see what it gets us. Basically, it's the same process where Operator goes into Canva, creates the document, puts in all the text. And to me, the coolest thing is every time it gets stuck, it really tries to problem solve its way out of being stuck. For example, if the page doesn't load, it'll navigate back and reopen the page from scratch. It's the type of problem solving that really makes it feel like an actual assistant. But despite how cool that actually is, this product took a while to come up with, and I honestly feel like it's not that good. I don't think anyone would buy this, and if they did, I don't think that they'd be happy with it. This is still only the first try, but I just think that regular ChatGPT could almost do a better job of coming up with a real estate guide. This one gets like a 2 out of 10. Now, before we look at all the listings, I also want to see if Operator can make a product like these digital paintings, which again, they all sell passively for a few bucks each. Because if Operator can learn how to make and upload these while you sleep, for example, it would be growing your passive income without you really even having to do anything. Some shops selling these types of products make thousands of sales. And if every sale brings in even just a few dollars, it can really add up because you don't have to sit there and make every single one by hand. I'm gonna give Operator a link to this product and see if it can replicate the style somehow and make something new. If you're curious, this is the prompt that I'm giving it, and let's see what it does. Now, each time I tell Operator to do something, even though it might be a very similar task to something I've had it do before, it starts over completely from scratch and always does things a little bit different. This time, once it analyzed the successful listing, it went into Midjourney and decided to look into the image generation settings, which it hasn't done the past few times I've tried it. Then it wrote out a prompt that it thought would be similar to the artwork that I gave it, and the result didn't look too bad, but it wasn't really anything like the product that had been selling. But I think it realized this because it went back to the listing on Etsy, analyzed it again, changed more of the settings, and tried another prompt. It still doesn't look exactly the same, but it's an impressive train of thought that the AI had. I gave it a list of 3 more successful listings to try and imitate, and it went through analyzing each successful listing, and then it'd tell Midjourney to make artwork similar to it. The artwork didn't look bad, but it's also not perfect. It doesn't really resemble the listings that I gave it. But since writing the prompt is the hardest part of making this style artwork, I think once Operator is better at it, this would be pretty cool. And again, I had it turn all of these images into product listings. Now, I don't know, you'll have to tell me in the comments what you think, but as someone who's sold a lot of digital products, I can say that from my experience, they're definitely not that bad, but they're just not perfect. Right now, I think that the main problem with Operator is despite its ability to problem solve, it still gets stuck on simple tasks. This means you have to come back into the chat box and type in exactly what it should be doing to get it back on track. It also occasionally will ask you to hit a confirm button before it does certain actions like uploading or downloading something, which means, especially considering how long it can take to complete certain actions, it makes it a lot less passive than you'd think. Based on the products that I've had Operator make for me, I think that instead of having it try and grow an entire business for you from scratch, it would be better suited to handle individual tasks inside your business. For example, I think it could do great at something like telling it to go answer all your customer support messages, or to go through your current product catalog and optimize them. Maybe you could tell it to do product research to see what products are already selling, or you could tell it to scroll social media so that you don't have to. So based on the products that I've been able to make with it, do I think it's going to be able to grow your next side hustle for you while you sleep? I just don't think so. I think $200 is a steep price because the regular free ChatGPT can do almost all of the same exact things except take control of a little browser window. And considering just how slow the Operator can be, I think you'd be better off making high quality products by hand or just using regular ChatGPT to help you where it can. Don't get me wrong, this is still super cool and definitely a glimpse into the future, and the AI is powerful enough to make at least beginner level products. But there's still a human touch required to shape all of these elements that it gives you into a product that a human would actually buy on a marketplace like Etsy. And actually, I think this is a great thing because it means humans are still required to run and grow businesses. And humans who choose to use tools like Operator and AI are probably just going to get more done and create higher quality products in the long run.